Hello, my friends. Welcome back. And if you're new here, welcome. If what you see here has you feeling a calling to like and subscribe, I would definitely appreciate having you along on my journey. And I would love to share in your journey and learn a little bit about it. So if you are new here, go ahead and drop me a comment and tell me a little bit about yourself. So, this video is something that I have really postponed throughout the weekend, but it is a topic that I really want to discuss with you all. It's something that I might have shared in probably one of our lives if we got into any female discussion when it came to hormones, but I never truly went too much in depth about it. And it definitely is a big part of my journey, and to be able to share it with those that possibly might be going through the same thing to see if I can be of some inspiration definitely motivates me to share this with you all. And for anybody that has been supporting me all along, it's definitely something I want to share with you all as well, because as you know, wholeheartedly and genuinely, I consider all of you my friends. So to kind of get into it, some of you might already see the title of the video, and it might give a little bit of an insight of what this video is about. So I had struggled with infertility. I did not know I had any hormonal problems, whether it started at the age of menstruation or whether it started on later on in my adult life. I'm not exactly sure when it started until I had a visit with a gynecologist, which was not until I was actually 3 months married. I grew up with the kind of upbringing that you were taught basically your basic needs when it came to hygiene as a woman, when it came to handling the time of the month for menstruation. But as far as actually going to the gynecologist for exams, I did not experience that in my childhood. In my young adult life, I did not experience it as well. What encouraged me to go 3 months into our marriage is because my husband was the one that actually had said that it would be a good idea, only because we were newly married and he just wanted to make sure that everything was okay. And he was kind of shocked that I never had seen a gynecologist before. So he was kind of just really concerned. Also because at the time, my grandmother, she was suffering from ovarian cancer. So that also put a little bit of alarm because it was my maternal grandmother, which she ended up later on, she did end up passing from ovarian cancer. But even still, yet with her getting that diagnosis, it kind of put us on high alert just to kind of make sure that I was okay. What ended up happening from that gynecologist visit is something definitely no woman wants to go through in an appointment. Nonetheless, a newlywed couple that is just 3 months into their marriage and that has had plans and discussion of plans on wanting to build a family, to have children. But what I was told in that appointment was that my hormones were very irregular. They basically had seen that my body was not capable of being able to hormonally be able to basically keep a pregnancy, is just the way that they had said it to me. So they basically left me with, do not try on your own. If you are to try on your own without any guidance, you may not make it to full term in your pregnancy. They said that they were so confident in that they said that it would be 9 out of 10 chance that I would have the pregnancy end up in miscarriage. So, not a 9 out of 10 chance of being successful, but a 9 out of 10 chance of the pregnancy resulting in miscarriage, is what they had told me. So, you can only imagine how it devastated us as a newly married couple. I even had told my husband, and this is after us knowing each other for 4.5 years before we even got married, only because I cared so much about him. I loved him, and I was willing to give him a divorce because I just felt like I would be taking something that he really wanted to happen in his life, which was to be a father and to have children with the woman that he loves. But we worked through it like any other couple would that truly just loves and cares about each other. We basically just discussed it, cried about it a whole lot. And I want to say it was about 3 to 4 months later. And my husband came across some information about an infertility clinic. We ended up going to this infertility clinic, and I can tell you all that after 2 years worth of going to that infertility clinic, we were able to have our first son, which is our oldest. So currently right now he's 15 years old. He just turned 15 in October. And just kind of his whole just pregnancy, the birthing experience really just truly just made such a huge impact on us. You know, to be told that you cannot have any, to be told that you have 9 out of 10 chance of your pregnancy resulting in a miscarriage, and now to have this beautiful child that is healthy, we were just overflowing with emotions. He actually came into this world breech. So, for anyone that's not familiar, breech is when the baby is not turned down as they should be, they're actually facing up. And sometimes they want to make an attempt to turn the baby. And a lot of times, if they see that the baby does not have any potential of being turned, or if they feel like there is a risk, which in my case, there was a little bit of a risk because my heart rate started getting impacted, baby's heart rate started getting impacted. So that's why they made the decision to do a C-section. So our son, our firstborn, this miracle baby, it was so significant to us because we felt like him being breech, he was able to come into this world just facing the world head on. So for us, that was just so significant. We didn't see it as anything that was like an emergency or anything that was a setback in my delivery. You know, to have a C-section or for him to be breech, we really kind of saw it as just a testimony of how he came into this world. So that was my first pregnancy and my first experience with infertility. So let's flash forward to 2 years into our first child's existence. He wanted a sibling. There are so many programs between TV shows, movies, just even going out to the store. There are so many things that these kids see when it comes to sibling interaction, when it comes to having a brother, you know, with him already being a boy, what the experience may be like to have a brother or to even have a sister. He was seeing things all over the place of sibling interaction. So he for sure was asking for a sibling. We decided that when he was 2 years old, we were going to go ahead and try again. Because of the advice of that initial gynecologist that we had seen 3 months into being married, we seek the same infertility clinic for some assistance again. We tried with that infertility clinic for 4 years worth. No luck at all. it was mentally, physically, emotional draining, because going for infertility treatments for that period of time, it is so taxing on the body, and it is so taxing financially. I can't even begin to go into depth about that, because there is just so much explanation that can be given about the financial, mental, physical, and emotional aspects of it. It is definitely a lot that a woman has to go through. Not only the woman, but even the husband or significant other has to endure, because they are right there with you going through it all. Maybe not their body indirectly, but best believe they are feeling truly what we're going through, because in that moment they feel very much helpless. They wish they could take your place. Especially in my husband's case, he wished he was able to take some of those 4 years and have his body basically, making those attempts of having the successful conceiving of a baby. So after those 4 years, I felt done. I felt just burnt out all the way around. And I just told my husband that maybe we should just be grateful for the one child that we have. Maybe we should just, see the miracle baby we have as a blessing, and just be appreciative that we are able to experience parenthood, and for us not to push our blessing. Let's just be grateful. So we allowed things to settle down. We didn't think about having another child until my husband was given some information that there was an infertility clinic that was making breaking news. They were having all kind of success. They were becoming very popular in the area. They actually surpassed the ratings of the original infertility clinic that I was going to. And I can tell you, the original infertility clinic that I was going to, they were in that field for decades upon decades. And the fact that a fairly new clinic was surpassing them, I had to give it another go. My husband and I, we made an agreement that we were only going to give it 2 additional years, because at that point in time, if we gave a 2 additional years worth to that new clinic, we would have gave a full 6 years of simply trying. At the end of the 2 years, still yet, we did not have any success with that new clinic as well. So here we settled on our original feelings of, we're just going to be happy with the one child we have. We are not going to stress about any of this. My body was under a lot of stress going through the year's worth of the infertility, which is definitely not a way to properly conceive a baby. So we just kind of said, you know what? I know the original gynecologist told us to not do this without guidance, but whatever will be, will be. We're fine with that. So flash forward, after that 6 whole years worth of trying, it was about 4 months later. I had just enrolled into college. I had hopes of finishing my bachelor's degree. And in between classes, I started getting very, very sick. I started having a lot of nausea. I was experiencing vomiting. And I called my husband and told him, like, listen, I need to leave class early. Something's going on. I'm definitely not feeling well. We were thinking possibly it was something that I ate, or possibly, I was, probably sick with a bug or something like that I had caught. But after weeks had passed by, I still didn't get any better. And I started to kind of pinpoint that I started getting really sick when I was cooking, when I was in the kitchen. So one thing led to another, and my husband, he just had a feeling to pull back our kitchen range. And when he pulled back our kitchen range, we had found that a pipe that was for the kitchen sink behind the range drywall, that it had corroded, there was a leak, and it had caused the drywall to get black mold. So we had suspected that that was the reason why I was sick. Now, let's kind of jump a little bit to going to the doctor to get help for my respiratory issue, my nausea due to the black mold. Because of my age being in the early 30s, they wanted to do a pregnancy test, which I was not at all in any objection to, because here I joked, I was laughing, telling the nurse, oh yeah, that's fine, you can do it. I've been trying for 6 years for a baby and I have no luck at all. I've even tried with 2 infertility clinics, so it's no big deal for me. It's just gonna come out negative. So here I end up going with the doctor, having the exam. We're discussing all my symptoms. We're figuring to kind of research and take the next steps of figuring out what's going on with me related to the black mold. And out of nowhere, the RN storms into the room and hands something to the doctor. Had no clue at the time what she handed to the doctor because I could not see from where I was on the exam table. And the doctor was like completely shocked and she gasped. And I'm wondering, what is going on? And the next thing I know, the doctor walks to me and she hands me a positive pregnancy test. So you could only imagine how much emotion was going through my whole body to find out after 6 years worth of trying that here I was in that doctor's office, and finally I had gotten a positive test result. It was just so overwhelming and I was just super excited. I was super emotional because I was sobbing so hard, the kind of sobbing that makes it feel like your heart is going to jump out your chest kind of sobbing. But I was just so overjoyed. They got a little bit overwhelmed because they did not know if my sobbing was happiness or if I was sad because I was so emotional. But, I definitely reassured them that it was such a long road for us that I was in complete shock. That I could not even smile initially because I was just in so much shock. But luckily, we had our second child at the end of this month. He's going to be 7 years old. So thankfully, he is just such a happy, healthy child. Thank God. We are just so grateful for him. His older brother is just so overjoyed to have a baby brother, to be able to have somebody as company, someone to be able to bond with, someone to be able to share his time with. So it's been amazing to see him have a sibling and for him to basically get his desire and his dream for having a brother fulfilled as well. So I'm going to go ahead and stop chatting because I want to share a clip with you all. And it is something really personal, but as I said, I genuinely, wholeheartedly take it seriously when I call you all my friends. So I'm going to go ahead and share a clip and I will be right back. What does it say on it?
First, three holes.
Spit it out. You know it.
First three
Wait.
ones.
What?
First three ones.
What does it say on the other one? Show him the other one, Raheem.
Why, are you having another baby?
Yeah. You're probably gonna be a big brother or a big sister. We don't know yet.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Mom's having another baby?
You don't have to be worried or anything.
What?
Don't take it out.
Another baby?
Put it on.
Are you happy?
Yeah. I didn't realize it.
I just found out today, this morning.
We're having another baby?
Yeah. All All right, my friends, you should have seen a little bit of a clip of us breaking the news to our two boys. So, my friends, I am expecting another child. We are super happy. We are super thrilled. I don't have much information to share with you all. I am simply sharing this all very new to you all. Today is Thursday, January 4th, and I just found out as of this past weekend. So, just as of this New Year's Eve weekend, I had found out. So, I had taken on, it would have been on Friday, I had taken one pregnancy test at night. And when I took that pregnancy test, it took a long time for any sort of result to come up at all. And we waited and waited. And slowly but surely, one line had came up. And the line that came up is a line that only comes up as one of the two lines if you are pregnant. It was not simply the single line that comes up if you're not pregnant, if that should make sense. So this line on the left side only can come up with a double line if you're pregnant. So hopefully I'm kind of clarifying that a little bit better. So my husband and myself, we just kind of just stood there in the bathroom looking at each other because we could not really truly take that as a positive. For us, we were just like, we're just going to categorize this as possibly an error because we definitely for sure wanted to see something that was truly positive. Come the next morning, I did two more tests and I handed them off to my husband because I was not wanting to see another inconclusive result, especially from now two tests. So I handed them to him, and after some time, he basically just turns to me and says to me, "Do you want to know now, or do you want me to surprise you come the new year?" And just by looking at him, he had tears filling up in his eyes that at that point in time, I told him that you've already told me. And at that point, it was just such a great emotional moment for us. The clip that I showed you all, we had taken our kids on Saturday to a local museum. And then afterwards, we hung out and spent some time at some picnic tables over there. And that is where you see that we had showed them the pregnancy test and shared the news with them. And they are super excited. They just keep asking so many questions, especially our almost 7-year-old. He is so excited. And his main question is, when is the baby coming? Asking, oh, is the baby coming tomorrow? So he does not understand the concept of up to 9 months of pregnancy, because he's still only about to turn 7. So that's definitely totally understandable. Well, as you all can see, this is why I keep consistent when I was on a carnivore way of eating. Not to get pregnant, but to have my life fulfilled the way it is meant to be fulfilled. I want to always make sure that I am taking care of myself mentally, physically, emotionally, and this way of eating allows me to do so. This way of eating is allowing me to reach goals that I never thought I would be able to have in my life, because as I share with you all, I previously went through so much struggle to be a mother. So to be a mother the third time around, and for it to have come so easily in comparison to previously before, this way of eating definitely plays a huge, huge role into that. If anyone out there is suffering from infertility, definitely, this is not a replacement for medical advice. I'm not telling any of you to do a carnivore way of eating or to do any part of the proper human diet because I am not a healthcare professional. I am a mother. I am someone that's speaking from personal experience. But if you get the support, what do you have to lose? It is real food. See how your body does with it is the main thing. Because as I said, it is real food that you're eating. If you end up feeling your very best, it's going to make you want to keep up with it only that much more. Every single victory I've had, especially the non-scale victories, is what kept me motivated to stay with this way of eating, to stay on plan, to stay true to myself, to not derail. And that is the main reason why I'm able to have this huge non-scale victory, my best non-scale victory yet, as well as being able to truly live my very, very best life. I wanted to be able to share this with you all. It is something that I'm not going to be posting on any of my other social media. So, not on Facebook, not on Instagram. This is something that I wanted to personally share with you all because I know within this community there is a woman out there or there is a woman significant other that possibly needs to hear this message because it worked for me and there is a great possibility it might work for another woman and another family out there just like it did for us. I am super, super excited for what is ahead. I have my first appointment with the OBGYN on January 19th. They are in the hopes that I'll be able to get an ultrasound at that appointment. So I will be able to share more of an idea of my expected due date, as well as possibly I might be able to also share an ultrasound picture that they're going to give me. As far as my carnivore journey, I did decide to start a little bit of a reintroduction. So I am going to be posting some what I eat in a day. I'm going to keep it very minimal because I don't want to stray away too far from carnivore because I personally just really enjoy it. So I do have hopes to reintroduce avocado, which I have already done, and you guys will be able to see that content once I get it uploaded, and possibly just some very other simple type of fruits and veg. I am going to take it very slowly, only because, as some of you know, when I was doing keto, there was a veg that was affecting me, that was causing me a lot of irritable bowel syndrome, IBS. So I don't want the irritable bowel syndrome to come back. So I'm going to take things very slowly. Also, with being pregnant, being early on pregnant, morning sickness may or may not show its ugly face. So I also want to make sure I am doing a slow introduction because I don't want to have a false sense that whatever I might have reintroduced made me sick when it was simply just the pregnancy, when it was simply possibly just morning sickness. So I want to give myself time. My plan is to keep up with the avocado. I've been doing a avocado that is an avocado mash, and it's something that our oldest son actually came across because, as some of you know, our kids and my husband, they just hit 5 years keto, so they are always on the lookout for whole food keto items when we go out to the stores. So he came across an avocado mash that has some egg in it. It has egg mixed with the avocado mash. So that is the combination that I've been using because it's not very much of a ratio of avocado versus the egg. It's kind of like a nice little mix of a combination. So that's what I decided to go with. And we'll kind of just see how it goes and give it some time. And I'll kind of figure what I decide to reintroduce after that. But it's just to kind of change things up that way throughout my pregnancy. I want to truly try to avoid as much as I can the fact of the research I've done of some pregnant women in this proper human diet, more so meat heavy or being on carnivore. They sometimes experience meat aversion, and I'm going to try to avoid that as much as I can. So, hopefully, having a little bit of additions here and there, and kind of more so being keto carnivore, if you will hopefully help. But I am all about keeping the simplicity. So I'm going to try to keep things as simple as I can with my reintroduction. So if you are a carnivore purist and the content does not appease to you, I'm going to definitely give you that warning that I'm going to start doing reintroductions of still whole foods, but more so things that would be on the spectrum of being ketovore. I just have to do what's best for me right now, have to do what's best for me, and I have to ultimately do also what is best for this baby as well. All right, my friends, so I don't want this to be forever long. As always, I appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the love you have all showed me. And as always, my friends, I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate you all. Until the next one, take care, friends.